Success leaves clues. And if you pay attention, those clues are never found in the result. They're found in the process. Let me start with something simple but life-changing. Most people are obsessed with outcomes. The money, the title, the finish line. They want the reward, but they ignore the routine. And that's where everything goes wrong. Because results are not something you chase. Results are something you attract by the person you become and the process you follow. I used to ask the wrong questions. I'd say, why am I not rich yet? Why am I not successful yet? Why isn't it happening faster? And then one day, I learned a better question. What am I doing every day? That question changed my life. Because here's the truth. Success is not an event. It's a daily practice. Success is predictable. It's not luck, and it's not magic. It's hard work and discipline. You don't wake up successful one morning. You wake up, do the work, then repeat over and over again. Nature teaches us this lesson perfectly. You don't plant a seed in the ground and stand there yelling, "Where's the fruit?" No, you plant, you water, you protect, you wait. And one day, almost quietly, growth appears. Life works the same way. But most people don't trust the process. They want proof before progress. They want results before discipline. They want confidence before competence. And because of that, they quit too early. They stop showing up. They stop practicing. They stop improving. Not because the process doesn't work, but because they stopped working the process. Let me tell you something important. If you fall in love with the process, the results have no choice but to follow. Show up when no one is watching. Do the basics when they feel boring. Repeat the disciplines when they feel small. Because small things, done consistently, become extraordinary things over time. You don't get paid for your hopes. You get paid for your habits. You don't get rewarded for wishing. You get rewarded for working. And the greatest danger in life is this: letting the results decide your effort. The winners don't do that. They let the process decide their effort, and the results take care of themselves. So if you're frustrated, if you're impatient, if you feel like nothing is happening, good. That means you're probably in the middle of the process. And that's exactly where growth happens. Tonight, we're going to talk about discipline, daily habits, consistency, and why focusing on the process, not the outcome, is the fastest way to win. Not quickly, not easily, but predictably, because when you master the process, success is no longer a question. It's only a matter of time. Let me tell you something simple. And simple things are usually the most powerful. Most people wake up every day thinking about results. They think about the money. They think about the outcome. They think about the finish line. And then they wonder why they feel overwhelmed, why they feel discouraged, why they quit so easily. Here's the truth. Results are a consequence. The process is the cause. You don't get paid for wishing. You don't get strong by hoping. You don't become successful by staring at the scoreboard. You become successful by doing the work, day after day, whether you feel like it or not. See, results live in the future, but the process, that lives right here, right now. And the only place you can actually do anything is right now. Most people say, once I see results, I'll stay consistent. But life doesn't work that way. Consistency comes first. Results come later. Always. If you plant seeds today, you don't walk outside tomorrow and shout at the ground. You don't say, "Where's my harvest?" You understand the law. You understand timing. You understand process. Success follows the same rules. People fail not because they lack talent, not because they lack opportunity. They fail because they keep changing the plan. Instead of committing to the process, they start something. They don't see immediate results. They get emotional. They quit. And then they call it bad luck. But it's not bad luck. It's impatience. Here's a powerful idea to remember. You don't focus on the score while playing the game. You focus on playing well. If you play well long enough, The score takes care of itself. Life rewards discipline, not intensity, not short bursts of motivation. Discipline, doing the small things, doing them every day, even when no one is watching. That's the process. See, motivation is like the weather. It changes. Some days it's sunny, some days it's not. But the process doesn't care how you feel. It asks one question. Did you do the work today? Not perfectly, just honestly. And here's where people get confused. They think focusing on results gives them drive. But focusing on results creates pressure. Pressure leads to stress. Stress leads to shortcuts. Shortcuts lead to failure. The process removes pressure. Because when you focus on today's actions, today's habits, today's standards, you win the day. And if you win enough days, you win the year. If you win enough years, you win your life. Success is not an event. It's not a breakthrough moment. It's not one big decision. Success is a process. A few simple disciplines, practiced every day. Read a little. Learn a little. Work a little harder on yourself than you do on your job. That's the process. And let me warn you about something. If you chase results, you'll always feel behind. There will always be someone richer, someone faster, someone further ahead. But when you chase the process, you gain peace. Because no one can take today's effort from you. No one can steal today's discipline. That's yours. You may not see progress this week. You may not see progress this month. But progress is happening. Roots grow before fruit appears. And those who don't understand this law dig up the seed to see if it's working. They sabotage the very success they want. Here's the better approach. Trust the process. Respect the process. Fall in love with the process. Wake up and ask, what do I need to do today? Not to get rich, not to get famous, but to get better. Because when you get better, everything gets better. Your income improves. Your confidence improves. Your future improves. And it all starts with a shift in focus. Stop asking, am I winning yet? Start asking, am I doing what winners do? Do the right things in the right order for the right amount of time. And then step back. Let life do the rest. Because when you focus on the process, results have no choice but to follow. Let's slow this down for a moment. Because if you miss this, you miss everything. Everyone wants progress. Everyone wants growth. Everyone wants to move forward. But very few people want to commit to the place where progress actually happens. And that place is the process. See, progress is not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't post updates. It doesn't ask for applause. Progress works quietly, behind the scenes, out of sight. And that's why most people abandon it. They don't feel successful, so they assume they're not becoming successful. But feelings are poor judges of progress. The process doesn't care how you feel. It responds only to what you do, day after day, step after step. You see, real progress is not dramatic. It's not a sudden leap. It's a series of small, often boring, disciplined actions. And boring is where winners are made. Most people are addicted to excitement. They want big wins, big breakthroughs, big moments. But life doesn't work in big moments. Life works in daily habits. The process is the bridge between intention and accomplishment. You can have the best goals in the world. You can have big dreams, high standards, strong desires. But without a process, those are just wishes. A goal without a process is frustration waiting to happen. Now, here's something important. The process is not about perfection. It's about consistency. You don't need to do everything right. You just need to keep doing the right things. Over time, progress comes from repetition, from showing up when it's inconvenient, from doing what needs to be done, long after the excitement has worn off. That's where character is built. And character is what carries you. When motivation disappears, let me tell you the truth. Most people don't like to hear. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems, your daily routines, your habits, your standards. That's the process. If your process is weak, your results will be weak, no matter how badly you want success. But if your process is strong, results become inevitable. You may not notice it at first. You may even feel stuck. But something is happening. Your skills are improving. Your discipline is strengthening. Your confidence is forming. Progress is invisible before it becomes undeniable. That's why patience is part of the process. Impatience makes people quit too early. It convinces them that effort isn't working. That change isn't happening. But progress doesn't follow your timetable. It follows natural law. Just like seasons. You don't get spring before winter. You don't get harvest before planting. And you don't get results before the process. And here's another trap. People confuse being busy with making progress. But activity is not the same as advancement. The process is intentional. It's focused. It's deliberate. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. Every day you must ask yourself, what small action, done consistently, will move me forward? And then you do that, even when it feels insignificant. Especially when it feels insignificant. Because small things done daily create massive change over time. Let me give you a powerful perspective. Success is not built in spurts. It's built in standards. Standards for how you work, how you think, how you respond to difficulty. The process teaches you discipline. It teaches you patience. It teaches you self-respect. Because when you keep promises to yourself, you start to trust yourself. And that trust is priceless. Now understand this. The process doesn't guarantee immediate comfort. It guarantees long-term growth. It will test you. It will stretch you. It will expose your weaknesses. But that's not punishment. That's preparation. The process is shaping you into the kind of person who can handle success. Because success without preparation creates pressure. But success built through process creates confidence. So instead of asking, why is this taking so long? Ask, what is this making me become? Because who you are becoming is far more important than what you are achieving. The process is not a detour. It is the path. It's not something to get through. It's something to commit to. Fall in love with the daily work. Respect the slow progress. Honor the small wins. Because this is where real progress is made. Quietly, steadily, relentlessly. And if you stay faithful to the process, one day you'll look back and realize something powerful. You didn't just reach a goal. You became a different person. How progress often happens. Long before results show up. Let me tell you something important. Something most people never fully understand. Progress is happening long before you can see it. And if you don't learn to trust that truth, you will quit too early. See, we live in a world that rewards visibility. We celebrate what we can measure, what we can show, what we can prove. But life doesn't work that way. The most important growth is invisible at first. You don't see discipline forming. You don't see character strengthening. You don't see habits rewiring your future. All of that happens quietly, below the surface. And that's why the invisible work is where most people lose faith. They work hard. They show up. They stay consistent. And then they look around and say, nothing's changing. But that's not true. Something is changing, just not where you're looking. Let me put it this way. When a farmer plants seeds, he doesn't dig them up every morning to see if they're growing. He understands something simple. Growth happens underground before it ever shows above the soil. And personal growth works the same way. Before your income changes, your thinking must change. Before your results improve, your habits must improve. Before your life looks different, you must become different. That change starts invisibly. Quiet mornings, lonely discipline, repetition with no applause. That's the invisible work. And here's the challenge. The invisible work feels unrewarding. It feels slow. It feels uncertain. Because there's no immediate feedback, no scoreboard, no confirmation, no guarantee, just faith. Faith that what you're doing today will matter tomorrow. And faith is a muscle. If you don't exercise it, you won't have it when you need it. Most people give up, not because they failed, but because they couldn't see progress. They mistake silence for stagnation, stillness for failure. But silence is often a sign that something is being built. Deep roots grow in silence. Let me tell you something else. Results are a lagging indicator. They show up after the work is done, not while it's being done. That's why chasing results creates frustration. You're always looking ahead, instead of strengthening the foundation beneath you. The invisible work is where discipline becomes identity. You stop saying, I'm trying, and you start becoming someone who simply does what must be done. No negotiation, no drama, no excuses. And that shift changes everything. Because when discipline becomes who you are, consistency stops being a struggle. You don't wait for motivation. You don't need inspiration. You show up because it's who you've decided to be. That decision happens invisibly, quietly, internally. And here's the real test. Can you keep going when no one is watching? When no one is praising you? When no one believes in your progress? Except you? Because that's where champions are separated from the crowd. Anyone can work hard when results are obvious. Anyone can stay motivated when success is visible, but only a few can stay committed when effort feels unrewarded. And those few are the ones who eventually win. Let me say this clearly. Invisible work compounds. Every disciplined day stacks on the last. Every habit strengthens the next. Every small decision builds momentum. You may not feel it today. You may not see it this week. You may even doubt it this year. But one day, something shifts. Suddenly things feel easier. Decisions become clearer. Confidence shows up unannounced. And people will say, you're lucky. You're talented. You're gifted. They didn't see the invisible work. They didn't see the days you showed up tired. The nights you chose discipline over comfort. The moments you wanted to quit, but didn't. Success looks sudden to the outside world. But you know better. It was earned slowly. That's why patience is not passive. Patience is active trust. Trust in the process. Trust in repetition. Trust that effort always pays off, if you stay long enough. So stop asking, where are the results? And start asking, am I doing the work? Because if the work is right, the results are inevitable. You don't need proof. You need persistence. You don't need applause. You need standards. And you don't need to see everything. You just need to keep planting. Because one day, what was invisible will become undeniable. And when it does, you won't be surprised. You'll simply smile and say, this didn't happen overnight. It was built when no one was watching. Now let's talk about something deeper. Because the real value of the process is not what it gives you. It's what it turns you into. You see, most people think success is about achieving something, a goal, a number, a result. But success is not an event. It's a transformation. Long before your life changes on the outside, you change on the inside. And that change happens quietly through the process, day by day, choice by choice. The process is a teacher. Every disciplined action teaches you patience. Every small win builds confidence. Every setback develops resilience. And slowly, almost without you noticing, you become someone stronger, not louder, not flashier, stronger. That's the person the process creates. Let me say it clearly. You don't get paid for what you want. You get paid for who you become. The process is shaping your character, your standards, your identity. When you consistently do what you said you would do, even when it's uncomfortable, you build self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation of all confidence. Confidence doesn't come from results. It comes from knowing you can rely on yourself. That knowledge is earned in the process, The process teaches you responsibility. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop explaining why things are hard. You start asking better questions. What can I control? What can I improve today? What's the next small step? Those questions change everything, because successful people don't focus on what's missing. They focus on what's manageable. And that mindset is forged through daily practice. Here's something important. The process humbles you. It reminds you that growth takes time, that mastery is earned, that shortcuts come with consequences. And humility is strength, because humble people are teachable. They listen, they adjust, they improve. Arrogance says, I already know. The process says, keep learning. And the ones who keep learning are the ones who keep growing. Now let's talk about pressure. The process prepares you for pressure. When you've done the work, pressure doesn't scare you. You don't panic. You don't fold. You don't rush. Because you trust your preparation. That trust comes from repetition, from knowing you've practiced, you've failed, you've adjusted, and you've kept going. That's how composure is built. The process also teaches you to delay gratification. You learn to trade comfort today for freedom tomorrow. You learn to say no to things that feel good now, but cost you later. And that discipline creates options. Options in your career, options in your health, options in your life. The process creates independence, not overnight, but inevitably. Now here's a powerful shift. As you commit to the process, your relationship with failure changes. Failure no longer defines you. It educates you. You stop seeing mistakes as proof that you're not good enough. You see them as feedback, information, and that mindset keeps you moving forward. Instead of shutting down, that's maturity. That's growth. That's who the process creates. Let me tell you the truth. Results can be taken away. Character cannot. Money can come and go. Titles can change. Circumstances can shift. But the person you become stays with you forever. That's why the process is priceless. It gives you something no one can steal. Skill, discipline, judgment, confidence. Those are permanent assets. And here's the best part. Once you become this person, results don't feel heavy anymore. Success doesn't feel overwhelming. Responsibility doesn't feel frightening, because you've grown into it. You didn't rush it. You didn't fake it. You earned it. That's why long-term success is always built slowly. The process doesn't just prepare you for achievement. It prepares you to keep it. So don't rush the process. Respect it. Honor it. Commit to it. Because every day you show up, you're not just working toward a goal. You're becoming someone capable of more. And one day, you'll look at your life and realize the greatest result was never what you achieved. It was who you became. How to keep working when progress feels slow and nobody is clapping. Here's a truth that most people never accept. The work you do today may not show up tomorrow. It may not show up next week. It may not even show up next year. And that's why most people quit. They look at their effort and see nothing. They look at their sacrifice and see no return. They look at their progress and feel invisible. And so they stop. But let me tell you something powerful. Results are not the measure of your effort. Consistency is. The people who win in life, the people who become remarkable, they keep going when no one notices. They do the work in silence. They keep planting seeds. They keep watering. They keep showing up, even when it feels invisible, even when no one is clapping. Because here's the secret. The invisible work compounds. It builds strength, discipline, and confidence. Long before anyone sees the outcome. Let me explain it another way. Imagine a weightlifter in the gym. For weeks, they lift the same weights. Push-ups, squats, pull-ups. Every day, repetition after repetition. And at first, nothing changes. The muscles are invisible beneath the skin. The strength is unseen. The transformation is silent. But slowly, gradually, inevitably, the body changes. The strength shows up. The results reveal themselves. Life is exactly the same. The actions you take, the habits you build, the disciplines you follow, they are all invisible at first. But each one strengthens you. Each one compounds. Each one builds the person capable of achieving extraordinary results. This is where faith and patience come in. Faith is believing in what you cannot yet see. Patience is trusting the process long enough for the work to produce results. Most people fail not because they don't work hard, but because they measure success too early. They expect instant proof, and when it doesn't arrive, they quit. But winners understand a critical law of life. What is unseen today will become undeniable tomorrow. That means every effort you make, every extra hour, every small improvement, every disciplined choice matters. Even if no one notices. Even if it seems pointless. Even if you doubt it yourself. You see, consistency is the bridge between dreams and results. It is the invisible engine that powers visible success. And there's a powerful mindset that goes with it. Stop chasing applause. Stop waiting for validation. Stop asking, is it working? Instead, ask, what is the next right step I can take today? Do that. Do it again tomorrow. Do it again the day after. And keep doing it. Because over time, the cumulative effect of invisible work is unstoppable. Momentum builds, skills sharpen, habits solidify, confidence grows. And eventually the results appear. And when they do, people will notice. They'll see the achievement. They'll praise the outcome. But you will know the truth. It wasn't the results that made you strong. It was the work you did when no one was watching. It was the patience, the discipline, the commitment to the process. That's what creates lasting success. So today, make a decision. I will show up, even if no one sees. I will do the work, even if progress feels invisible. I will stay consistent, because that is how I win. Remember, every great achievement began as invisible work. Every breakthrough, every victory, every success started long before anyone clapped. And the only people who achieve greatness are the ones who stay the course, who trust the process, who keep working when no one notices. And when the results finally appear, they don't just see the outcome, they see the person they became along the way. So keep going. Stay faithful to the process. Be consistent in the invisible, because one day the world will see your success. And you'll know the real triumph was never the applause, it was the persistence. Consistency is the silent engine that turns effort into excellence. So now you know the truth. Success isn't about what you see. It's about what you do. It's about the invisible work, the daily discipline, the small choices you make when no one is watching. Focus on the process, not the results. Fall in love with the work itself. Respect the journey and trust that progress is happening even when you cannot see it yet. Remember this. Results are a lagging indicator of your effort. What matters is the person you are becoming in the process. If you keep showing up, if you keep learning, if you keep improving, then success is not a matter of luck. It's not a matter of timing. It is inevitable. So take this lesson into your life. Stop chasing outcomes. Start mastering the process. And one day, when the results finally show up, you won't just celebrate the outcome. You'll celebrate the person you've become. Stay disciplined. Stay patient. Keep doing the work. And watch how life rewards the process. Because when you commit to the process, results are no longer a question, they are a certainty.